date is May 28th, 2023. We're at Los Angeles Union Station, the busiest and largest rail terminal on the west coast of the United States. LA Union Station services a number of local bus routes, including Greyhound and LA's Metro, as well as servicing LA Metro lines B, D, and A, Metrolink, Amtrak trains. Today we're riding train 662, an Orange County train headed to Oceanside. We're riding the train to Fullerton today, a really famous railfan location that has a ton of traffic on Amtrak, Metrolink, and BNSF. Leaving LA Union Station, we pass a number of yards, the first of which is the Metrolink yard, consisting of a lot of the older locomotives, which were replaced by 40 F-125 locomotives. The second yard we pass is the LA Metro B and D yard, hosting a number of the older rolling stock, which is in service on the subway line in LA. We also passed Amtrak's 8th Street Yard, which is where a lot of the long-distance trains which terminate at LA Union Station, as well as the Pacific Surfliner, are maintained. Of note here is one of Amtrak's long-distance Siemens Chargers. These locomotives are being rolled out onto the fleet to replace the P-42s, and this is personally my first time seeing one. Amtrak's yard is full of a lot of equipment for the California services as well as long-distance trains. Immediately next to the yard is Redondo Junction, which is where we see a Union Pacific coal train passing underneath. The trip takes just under 30 minutes, calling at 2 additional stations. The lead locomotive on our train was an F-125 with Hyundai Rotem and Bombardier cars on the train. Being a weekend, Metrolink actually runs less trains than Amtrak, with about one every 2 hours in each direction. It doesn't take long for the first train to come through after the Metrolink cleared. This is a westbound BNSF headed into Los Angeles with a large load of containers. Fullerton Station has 4 tracks. Not visible is a stub-end platform track on the other side of this train. Platforms 1 and 3 host passenger trains, while track 2 is used as a bypass for freight trains. Trailing on this train was a Heritage 1-9. These locomotives are becoming less and less common as locomotives get repainted on the system. This is one of BNSF's older paint schemes. Meeting the BNSF train is Amtrak 772, with service to San Diego. It doesn't take long for the next Amtrak to show up. Amtrak 773 is a Pacific Surfliner service headed into Los Angeles. Note the gallery car as the cafe car on this train. Some of these cars are leased to Amtrak California by Amtrak for use on state services. It doesn't take long for the next BNSF train to show up. This is a double stack, high speed, eastbound train exiting Los Angeles. Due to its proximity with Los Angeles and the Port of Long Beach, Fullerton gets a ton of intermodal stack trains headed into and out of Los Angeles. Additionally, most BNSF trains must pass through Fullerton to head east or west, thus making it almost a funnel where a ton of trains pass during a 24-hour period. Amtrak 774, a regularly scheduled Pacific Surfliner, makes its way south to San Diego after departing Fullerton. Following Amtrak 774 is another eastbound BNSF stack train. This is a great opportunity to point out the different types of stack trains. This train here is definitely a lower priority stack train. You can tell because the containers typically contain bulk commodities coming straight from the overseas ports. A higher priority stack train may have Amazon or FedEx consumer trailers. These carry the packages that you receive at your front door, are typically much more expensive, customers pay much more, and thus are actually much more time sensitive. Directly behind the eastbound BNSF is Metrolink 663, Orange County line service to Los Angeles Union Station. Following the departure of Metrolink 663, another westbound BNSF stack train passes on track 2 through Fullerton. Fullerton is a great place to see the community growing. A lot of younger members have gotten their start here, getting into trains and seeing other people filming and posting train videos on YouTube. There's a ton of channels that post a ton of videos from this location. It's also very famous for its train traffic. It makes appearances on Trains Magazine's hotspots lists all the time for its huge amount of traffic, both on Amtrak, Metrolink, and BNSF. Fullerton can see roughly 60 to 80 trains a day, with a number of them being Amtrak and Metrolink services, but as well as a number being BNSF. BNSF definitely does not slow down during the day, even when the passenger services are running. The traffic is pretty much non-stop, and I'd highly recommend visiting. Amtrak 777 pulls out of Fullerton Station on its way to Los Angeles Union Station. Metrolink's equipment is pretty interesting. This train 664 Orange County's line service to Oceanside has an F125 leading. This is EMD's competitor to the Siemens Charger, a much less popular offering as shown here. The last BNSF train of the day, this eastbound BNSF stack train on track number 2, passes after train 664. This visit to Fullerton ended rather hilariously. I dropped my tripod hard enough to break the top of it, meaning I couldn't attach my camera. This pretty much forced me to go back home, but not before I got to explore some downtown Los Angeles, as you'll see later in this video. I would return to Fullerton a few months later, when I had a rental car. I was able to film a lot of trains, and I found some interesting catches, including some interesting Amtrak trains and a Ferromex locomotive. Stay tuned for those videos. Fullerton is also in a nice area. There's a nice downtown with a lot of restaurants just off the station. The station itself has a restaurant and a train museum with a small collection of cars and memorabilia. Metrolink 665, my train back to Los Angeles, pulls into Fullerton, with another one of the F-125 locomotives trailing. When I got back to Los Angeles, I had some time to spare, so I went and checked out the Angels Flight Funicular Railway in downtown Los Angeles. The Angels Flight has an interesting history. It's been opened and closed a number of times, and it's been destroyed a number of times through earthquakes. It originally opened in 1901 and currently operates with one person at the top of the hill and no persons on the bottom. It's operated currently by Metro, Los Angeles County's transit agency. The ride starts when the car reaches the bottom and the people already on board disembark. You're then allowed to board, and an alarm goes off when the doors close, signaling that the car will move forward. The ride to the top only takes a few minutes. As of 2023, the fare is $1, but if you have an LA Metro Tap card, the fare is 50 cents.
Always does this right the day before I read the paper.
Thanks for watching a lot of my catches at Fullerton and on Angel's Flight. I hope you enjoyed the video. There's a lot more at Los Angeles to come. Please like and subscribe to catch my next uploads.